Hello everyone, it is I, Ryan, also known as thelovebat, and so I'm here once again continuing my Let's Play of Pathfinder Kingmaker. And we had a good bit of happenings last time, and one particular area, the Technic League encampment. We dealt with the slavers that had tried to take us captive in a previous episode. And we kind of, well, I mean, it was definitely a fight. It wasn't the most challenging fight that I've come across, but it was an interesting fight nonetheless. And we caught them with their shoes untied. We were able to go ahead and prepare before the battle, and we just caught sight of them, and we stopped in our tracks, prepared for a moment, then went into battle to go ahead and deal with the slavers and the people of the Technic League. That they take what they want. This is just from the words of the Kalana person that we talked with in the previous episode. They take what they want and they take what they need, and they had been ordered to go ahead and they needed to replace a slave that they had lost. They tried to take one of us slaves as a slave. They admitted to making a mistake because we were more powerful than they thought we would be, and they couldn't just force us to go ahead and join them. And needless to say, we stomped both of their attempts to enslave one of us, and they were like, oh, we made a mistake. Oh, this is... They gave us like a half-hearted, desperate apology that was not sincere, but we are merciful kinds of people, at least for the most part. And we spared their life after we had defeated them and their underlings. And we also saved a couple of slaves. In particular, we saved Regungar. I don't know how you pronounce his name, honestly. Regungar. Might be how I try and pronounce it in the future. But we saved him, a half-orc sort of magus with the Eldritch Scion subclass selection here. And he's super strong, but also a little hot-tempered. And then we saved Octavia from enslavement as well, who is a chaotic good, sort of roguish wizard type, who will probably end up being sort of a arcane trickster type of character that we have. And so we'll end up trying to develop her as best we can. She's also a very good skill monkey, whereas Regungar is a very good person as far as like intimidation goes. He's also good at persuasion if you really need it. If you don't have someone like Lindsay in your party, or if your main character is not charisma focused, then Regungar can actually be pretty good at persuasion. He has good charisma. He's good at intimidation, which is good for a particular feat that you can choose. And we also came across a good bit of loot that I hadn't organized before. But we came across some interesting things when we were able to go ahead and deal with the Technic League. And so these two people are now party members, and we told Jathel and Harim to, well, we don't exactly need you right now, and we don't really need Harim in his tank role anymore. And I think Octavia is going to fit better. Regungar can be a good person to land some heavy blows, while Valerie and Alyrra can be up front doing their thing, dodging blows and making sure that the rest of our party is able to go ahead and battle everyone without getting smacked on top of the head. So that's kind of where we're at right now. I guess we're kind of at a point here where we have to decide, do we want to go back and grab a bunch of scrolls so that way Octavia can go ahead and add spells to her spellbook? Do we want to go ahead and just keep exploring and doing what we're doing since we have good enough magic with her already? We already have plenty of spells in her spellbook. We were able to add a couple of them. But leveling her up, we got enough spells that we like, that we do have options. We have more control-based options now. So her and Lindsay can kind of control the battlefield and they can also end up doing some buffing spells. Regengar also has some kind of self-buffing type magic that he can use on himself, and overall he can do some pretty good things. Sadly, transmutation magic, abjuration magic for some reason is one of the opposition schools for Octavia. So I don't know if it means that we can't have her learning those spells or that we just have to find spell scrolls to add them to her spellbook. I have no idea what the limitations are in Pathfinder. I know that the first edition of Pathfinder, which this game uses, is heavily inspired by D&D 3.5 edition kind of rules. So that's kind of what the game is inspired by. So there's some holdovers from those older D&D editions as far as like preparing magic and things like that. So we'll make the best of it and of the opposition schools that she has. But we have a very balanced party now. We have a little bit of everything that we could probably ever need in this kind of group, at least for a while. In the long run, I don't know if Amiri is going to be around too much, mainly just because the low AC of her and Regengar kind of makes it hard for them to be up front hitting things. But we'll see what happens in the future. So now it is time for us to get going, and let's see. Yeah, we're going to get fatigued again because the mercy that my character has to remove fatigue. Needless to say, it's more temporary, so you want to use it in an area, and then if you travel again, you get fatigued again, but we made use of it for that particular area, so I'm still happy with the results that we were able to get out of her lay on hands ability there. So let's go to the Temple of the Elk first, unless we come across... Well, I guess since we're pretty close to the Old Oak, we might as well go towards it and just take care of it now. Since we're here, we might as well. Let's go in here and see what we find at the Old Oak. There's lots of nice big trees in the Gnarl Marshes, apparently. Lots of notable tree areas. Okay, so now I guess we should probably just go ahead and do lay on hands to get rid of fatigue for our frontline characters. This way, I mean, the healing's not too necessary, but it is helpful just to go ahead and make sure that their fatigue doesn't hurt their armor class. And also, lowering their strength does mean that their encumbrance isn't as good either for all the gear that they're wearing, so that's also another consideration with fatigue and exhaustion type conditions. Exploring along the edges here just because... Ooh, what's this? Man-Eater Troll. So we're going to right-click that and have her doing Acid Splash. Obviously from what I know of trolls, and also because we can gather information about them. I guess she didn't do that hot on her roll there. But from what I understand of trolls, traditionally you need to go ahead and deal either fire damage or acid damage to go ahead and
just letting the ink dry.
Stop their regeneration capabilities. It's a common thing in lots of fantasy lore, like Dungeons and Dragons, Pathfinder. That's kind of the thing with trolls. So even before playing this game, I kind of already had that kind of idea. So let's see what we can do against them. I don't know if we want to cast any spells, but we could. They are an evil target, so I could do this. And then with you... I guess we can do some enlarge person action. And then I guess you can do enlarge person on Amiri to help her.
I wrote it like I saw it.
Let's do a bit of bless as well.
Stand with me.
We'll have you start off. I don't know what we're going to give him for a ranged weapon here. We got some masterwork longbows last time, which might be his best option. I guess we'll just go and give him a masterwork longbow there, just as a ranged option until we can find a composite longbow for him. We'll have him start off with his bow, and then we'll have him get into melee range along with Amiri here as well. So Alyrra's already getting in there. Valerie, I want you to get in there as well. I guess let's just do enlarge person on ourselves. Oh, and Alyrra ended up getting hit there, so that's kind of a bad situation. Yeah, and the only reason that they hit is because they got a natural 20, so that's kind of just bad luck there, I guess. But with their modifiers, they do have a reasonable chance of hitting her. I do want you to go ahead and get the enlarged person on Amiri here, please. There we go. And now let's go after the Man-Eater Troll. Grease might be an interesting spell to go ahead and try and knock down the troll. Yeah, that's the regeneration thing I was talking about, so we have some information there. This dexterity is good, but I don't know how good their dexterity saving throws are for Grease, so we'll see what happens there. And now we want to switch you two bigger dudes into melee combat here. Yep, so I don't mind about that. And then with you, can you charge in there? Oh, he needs a melee weapon. I have to equip it first. Okay, I forgot that. That's my bad. I made a boo-boo. Okay. Is he already enlarged? I thought I already did it, but I guess not. She's fatigued, so she can't charge, but that's okay.
Forgive me for this failure.
Alright, well, unfortunately, Alyrra went down there, which is unfortunate. Another natural 20. Well, no wonder she got hit. Okay, well, that's okay. We'll find a way to deal with the troll. He's taking forever to go. Holy shit! What on earth was that? 3d8 plus 16 times 2. 69 damage. Very nice. No comment. Holy, this is what you call the old Unreal Tournament voiceover commentary when you go on a killing spree that is super long. Or something like when you turn up the graphic settings to maximum on Unreal Tournament back in the day, the voiceover would come in and say, "Holy shit, shit, shit." 69 damage at this stage in the game with a single attack? Like, damn. Holy shit. Reganar, are you casting any magic? Like, you've been taking forever to cast it, and then he dies. Okay,
I'm hungry. When we stop.
Reganar did not do well for himself there. He was spending the entire combat trying to cast a spell. I don't know why it took him so long. Maybe his initiative was just really poor. I don't know, but he did not do well for himself there. You need to do better, Reganar or Regangar. You know, we're gonna need you to go ahead and stay ahead of the action next time. Okay. Well, all's well that ends well. Oh, Valerie is.
I am your shield.
Caught in the grease.
I will not falter.
Let's go away from the grease. I thought that it might end up helping us against the troll. Alright, well, let's just go around. Go around. Let's go around. And we're going to have to wait for... Let's go ahead and take these attacks off. We just wanted to go and get in there against the troll in this particular fight. Against mobs of enemies, we probably won't be able to do that. Right away, we'd have to split up Alyrra and Valerie a little bit. So that way they can cover two different spots. Yeah, hopefully in the future we'll have more AC, but, you know, when the enemy rolls a natural 20, there's not much that you can do to defend against that. So what magic crossbow did we get? We got a light crossbow +1. Okay. I guess it's probably still best to just give it to Lindsay. She's probably the one that's going to make the most use out of it. Octavia has cantrips to hit touch AC and consistently get in there, so sneak attack does apply. Unlike in 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, sneak attack does apply in this edition of Pathfinder rules on melee or spell touch attacks, basically. Like touch-based spells that use something like a ranged touch attack or something like that, like Acid Splash, those would end up giving you sneak attack damage. So if you have a cantrip like that, then that can be pretty useful to go ahead and get your sneak attack damage in every turn.
Let us press on.
It's also one of the it's one of the reasons that you might
prevail.
It's one of the reasons that you might decide to go with more rogue levels than mage levels, mainly because of the fact that you end up having lots of sneak attack damage that you can easily activate with the cantrips. Alright, so there's the terrifying croak. Alyrra was doing, I'm assuming, pretty damn well against it because her will saves are off the charts. And she's almost guaranteed to succeed. Very little chance that she would fail or something like that, so might as well go ahead and do this as well. Increase their chances of being able to hit. It looks like... Yeah, I think that's Octavia that's frightened right now, or shaken. We're not able to control her actions right now. Got our crane style going. So they actually have reasonable chances to hit with the crane style when they're fighting defensively. So that's certainly one reason why Bunk is extremely helpful in the circumstance for them. And let's see, it's just basic gear, some money. Nothing too much there. Got a little bit of experience for it. Nothing too eventful. I mean, it would be interesting if there were more NPCs that you could talk to in these kinds of areas and not just people that are just looking to murder you, but let's do a quick save here in case I have to lockpick this. Okay. Interesting. Scroll of protection from chaos. And a potion of mage armor could be useful for our character. So we encountered a troll, some boggards. Interesting, like, if you have the graphics settings really high, it does look like a pretty beautiful game, all things considered. You have all these sorts of visual effects going on screen, which are pretty interesting to look at. And then you have, like, different foggy type filters and the look of some of these things as well, which makes sense, at least at this point in the game, because the fog is a pretty big deal in this Gnarl Marsh type stuff going on. Can we go to the old oak over here? I don't know. I don't think that we can. I think that this is the old oak that the area is named after, but I don't think that we can actually go over there. So one of the things that we do miss a little bit from not having Harim and Jaethal in our party is that they both had very high wisdom, and so they were very good at being able to make perception checks. Our newest members of the party, Octavia is pretty good at perception because being a rogue and also having high intelligence, she can pump in skill points into a lot of skills, perception being one. Lindsay's reasonably good because she also has a decent amount of skill points to go around, and so she's reasonably good at it. Amiri has some decent wisdom skills, and that's about it, so she's also good at it. But we don't have anyone that's amazing at it right now. Right now we're relying on mostly 3 people. Valerie also has reasonably good perception. Thankfully it's a class skill, so we can just keep on putting points in perception after we increased her mobility a bit for defensive fighting. But for the most part, we should be okay, but not great at perception. We'll just need to keep on pumping some points into it with a couple of characters to make sure that we can find all those hidden items and things like that. Because while we do have 6 characters and one of them is bound to roll well, some of the DCs as time goes on are going to be very high for finding the hidden items in these areas. Alright, so I think that's everything. We did everything that we needed to. And we got a new crossbow for Lindsay, so that's always good. And we got another side area taken care of that we don't have to worry about doing later. Don't think we found anything of too much importance, but for the most part, you know, that's not bad for only being slightly sidetracked. Alright, so we want to go south this way if we want to get over here the fastest, so I'm going to have to learn to do that a bit more and hover over that, so that way I can know which direction I need to go on the map here. I think we just go this way then. Alright, so let's go ahead and save the game before going in here.
I'm hungry. When we stop?
Well, I know that you're hungry, and we're also kind of exhausted, so this might be the point in the game where we might want to go ahead and rest up before going in there. it might be a good idea. We're running a bit low on magic and such anyway, so... Well... Only a couple of people are exhausted, though. I think we might be able to get by with that. Let's go in, since we do have a couple of fresh party members. Let's see what we find. We'll rest here on the map if we need to, but I'd rather, if we end up encountering a fight, as long as Valerie isn't exhausted, being our main AC tank, I think we should still be okay.
Resting would be nice, don't you think?
It would be, but we're just going to have to grin and bear it for a little bit longer. So just hang in there, Lindsay. So this is the Temple of the Elk, then. Let's go ahead and get something resembling a formation here. And I guess there's something over there that we're going to want to grab real quick before I forget about it. Okay. Is there anything else over here that I want to grab before we go fight this toad?
Forwards.
Since you're exhausted, let's just have you pump away with a crossbow. You do the same with a longbow.
Adventures call to them.
You can use your cantrips, and you're not exhausted anyway, so you're okay.
I'm restless.
Okay, so how do we want to do this? Okay, so we can have him do some enhancement type stuff here. Might not be a bad idea to have him pre-buff in combat. Do you have any spells that you can cast? Not really. We need to have her rest so she can get her prepared spell slots back that we weren't able to do before. You do, however, have a spell, so you can go ahead and cast Grease to start combat if you want. We also don't have the guidance spell anymore. Maybe Alyrra will get that at some point. I don't know if paladins get cantrips in this game or not. Or if they get cantrips in the old rules or not.
A reckoning is at hand.
So Grease, probably a good idea. Let's go ahead and have you cast Mage Armor on yourself. And then I think Shield is also going to be a good idea to cast on yourself. Let's go ahead and increase our saving throws here. Let's go ahead and put resistance.
Anything is possible.
Let's go ahead and put resistance over there. And then let's go ahead and cast this a couple times. In case we have a saving throw that we need to do.
What's the holdup?
Okay, and then let's go ahead and do this. And then is there anything that we want you to go ahead and take care of here? We're not going against undead, so we don't need that. Flare is not going to do anything, I think.
I'm quite a social person, you know. I enjoy meeting new people. They didn't learn to keep away from me yet.
Alright, I think we're ready to go ahead and do stuff here. Let's see if we can hit them right back here, so... No, not back there. I think we want to... I just want to try and hit it at a point where it'll affect the toad, and then we can go up and attack it in melee without getting caught in the grease trap here. Right there is probably good. Mary, you get over there.
Together we stand.
And then you get over there. Octavia, you get over
I
there.
yearn for entertainment.
Oop. We definitely want you to go ahead and cast that at a spot where they're going to actually get hit, so do it right there instead.
Let us strike as one!
Alright, Lindsay, you're not in a very good place, my good girl. My friend. Primal Giant Frog, okay. Let's go ahead and do it right there then. And then let's have you do some more of this. Keep everyone very inspired. Mary, get you a bit closer. Let's have you switch to your scimitar and then do your arcane weapon stuff. Nope. I want you to get over here.
Die!
No. Wrong way. Wrong way, dude. He's trying to go all the way around for some reason. I don't know why he had to do that. It's because he doesn't have a weapon with a very good reach. Okay, well, that's, again, all's well that ends well. His AI in pathfinding was kind of going out on me there for a second, so I was kind of concerned about what was happening, but... Okay, so I don't want to have to go through the grease. I don't know what's going on over there, but man.
Without a doubt.
That is some smoke that does not look good. Okay, so now that we have a chance to kind of gather our thoughts a bit, let's check out what's going on with the Temple of the Elk. An ancient statue of Erastil seems to resist the ravages of time. The effects of years, rain, and wind have destroyed the temple walls, but they could not subdue the statue. And it looks like it is sort of like elk horns and things like that, so I'm assuming that maybe that's the kind of elk that this is referring to. Temple of the Elk, Erastil. The, I think it's like the stag god or something like that, that Erastil was again. But yeah, interesting. Oh, I'm trying to move a little bit to get a better view of the temple here. Don't know if we're going to get interrupted with a cutscene or not. Muddy water gives off a strange, nauseating smell and emits the tattered fog. Alright, so what's this that we... Bear-like treant. I think that's like a, I think it's like a tree type thing, I think. I could be wrong. Treant, I think, is... That's what they're called. I'm not sure where we spotted one. Maybe over to here somewhere. Oh. Primal ferocious wolf. Well, that's no good. I'm not sure where we spotted the bear-like treant at, but... No, I wish I hadn't spent some of my magic before, but some of it's still active on him. We still have the inspiration here to help everybody. You still have cantrips and your fisty, telekinetic fists. Not exactly the best ability, and it kind of sucks that Abjuration is closed off to her for defensive magic, but, you know, it's kind of the way it goes. Sucks that there's 2 opposition schools and not just 1 in this game. So how do we want to do this? I think we just do the inspiration and then get going. I don't know if saving throws are going to help, but we might as well...
Here!
I think we might as well do resistance for these 2. Because they are the most likely to go into melee. And I'll do a quick save because wolves tend to be able to knock you prone and snowball a fight sometimes. So let's do this just in case. Alright, now's the point in time where we do this. Valerie, I definitely want you to try and clog a choke point over here. And then everyone except for you, we're just going to have on the attack function there. Miri, I might want to get you a little bit closer. There's that sneak attack coming in again. Lindsay, are you doing that yet? There you go. That's what I was hoping for. So what we just need to do is we just need Valerie to hold a choke point here. And if she can do that, then we're probably going to be on our way to victory here. Let's go ahead and get them. That's probably good. I just want him to get back so that way Valerie can engage here. You hold your ground there. I don't know if they can attack us or not. Is someone here casting a spell that I don't know of? I thought I heard someone casting a spell somewhere. Alright, let's have you do this again. Keep the duration going. Ragnar, you get back. Let's keep that continuous here. There we go, that's how you do it. Oh, nice. She got a critical hit with her crossbow. That's wonderful. Alrighty then, well, that certainly was a big help. We're able to land some pretty good hits there. For some reason, it looks like the wolves didn't really leave a corpse for us, though.
Just letting the ink dry.
Yeah, so I don't know if these are like spirit type creatures or if for some reason the acid attacks left us no corpse to loot. I mean, it is a temple. It's like a nature type god as well. I don't know if these are like spirit animals gone mad at this temple that's experiencing issues or something like that. Certainly possible. Anything's possible at this point. Oh. Primal dire boar. Okay, well, looks like we're gonna do this again. So let's get in there then. missing with the acid splash. That's not good, but I think we're still going to be able to deal with this, I think. We do have enough damage that we can put in there. There we go. Once again, it doesn't look like it's leaving a corpse. It looks like it's just kind of like a spirit disintegrating there and dissipating into nothingness, so... Some of our party members are obviously moving a little bit slow because they're exhausted right now, so we'll rectify that soon here. Thankfully, exhaustion doesn't really affect perception at all. That would be really bad if it did. And it is one thing that you can use.
I saw it.
It is one thing that you can use Inspire Competence to help with, is to help out things like perception checks, lockpicking, persuasion checks, sometimes athletics or mobility checks if you're encountering an obstacle that you want to be more likely to succeed at without failing it. I could be wrong, but it looks like the area is a bit brighter right now than it was before. Yeah, because the area looks brighter and not as like dark and foggy right now than it was before. Whoa, what's going on here? Sickened. Okay, so we don't want to go through the fog here, or this muddy water or whatever. It makes you sickened, and that is not good. What was that noise? That was that noise. That's the bear-like tree ant that we had, I guess, spotted earlier that I didn't. So I guess that's what I saw before. This seems like a good idea to go ahead and do a little bit of a quick save here because it looks pretty dangerous. And, you know, we're a bit battered down right now, so... I guess this is another time to go ahead and do resistance in case there's like a saving throw of some kind that we have to deal with.
Adventures call to them.
Yeah, in case there's like something like one of those fear type auras or something like that that we went against in that oak tree area, then we're going to do resistance to kind of help us against that. I guess we might be able to use arcane weapon enhancement again. So let's do that.
You can count on me.
Yep, I think that's about all we can do here. Let's go ahead and do a bit of Inspired Courage. Now we'll do the quick save.
Give
and now
the
we'll
order.
have Valerie go in first. And then Amiri might want to get a little bit closer to help out with the ranged attack here.
Consider me provoked.
Alright, so looks like Valerie got hit there. Natural 20, of course. It's very difficult to hit her otherwise. Yeah, I think that if it doesn't get a natural 20, then with their modifiers, 19 plus 13 would be 32. So if they don't get a natural 20, they can't hit Valerie's AC. So at least we have a 5% chance on every attack to hit her. least that's the way that I was reading that earlier. Looks like Reganar is the next target of it, so let's see if we can get him out of there. Nope, he got struck down. Okay. Well,
Do not falter.
yep, and I went for the double tap to go ahead and kill him, so... Yeah, if we weren't playing with the easier resurrection type rules, they rise after combat, then resurrecting him would be very costly here. Which is why melee combat is difficult if you don't have absurdly high AC. Again, that's why Reganar and Amiri aren't very good for melee combat, because they will get smacked very easily, unfortunately. You have to kind of build for AC to be able to do anything here. And who is this? I wonder. Let's go ahead and see who this is and see if he has anything to say about what's been happening here as we walk very slowly to our places here. So since we won the fight, I think that's a good chance to just save the game here. It looks like we did have a minorly good nature check before the fight to get some information on it. Alright, well, let's talk to Tristan here and see what he has to say.
Your aid came at just the right time, stranger. My name is Tristian. I'm a priest of merciful Sarenrae. Another moment, and I fear I would have been on my way to her chambers, somewhat earlier than my destiny requires.
Known to her faithful as the Dawnflower, the Healing Light, and the Everlight, Sarenrae is a goddess who teaches temperance and patience in all things. Compassion and peace are her greatest virtues, and if enemies of the faith can be redeemed, they should be. Worship of this goddess of healing, honesty, redemption, and the sun began far to the east of the Inner Sea, in the vast Padishah Empire of Kalesh, but her worshippers can now be found throughout the world. Interesting. Well, I'm kind of more interested in why he was able to hang around here without the animals outright attacking and murdering him, but maybe he feared that they would, but they didn't. He was able to hold them back with magic of some kind, maybe, I don't know. Okay, so yeah, so he looks like, oh, never mind then. I forgot to read before I spoke. Silly me. He's severely wounded here. So I guess he did get attacked, but he's not dead. He didn't die from their attacks, I suppose. You're wounded. Do you need aid?
I am a priest of Sarenrae, and a skilled healer. I have done all I can, but it will take some time for my strength to return in full. But worry not. I will make my way to the trading post nearby, and wait there as I make my recovery.
So I guess he's aware of Oleg's trading post then. Seems like everyone around here in the Stolen Lands kind of knows about that trading post, so... A local nymph directed me here. She thinks the enchanted fog in this temple is created by the druid who serves the bandit leader here. I expect defeating the beast guards should cause the fog to clear.
I have never spoken to nymphs, but I believe their assessment is accurate. The creatures occupying this temple are far from ordinary animals. The power that moved them here is related to the fog. The beasts hold the fog as anchors hold a ship dancing in the waves. From what I can tell, once the beasts are defeated, the fog should begin to clear.
Okay, so I guess taking care of the animals that are kind of, I don't know, maybe entities of the fog. Maybe they are sources of the fog, maybe from this druid, I guess. Maybe the druid conjured animals that keep the power of the fog going, I guess. The beasts are defeated. What now?
Praised be Sarenrae. Now, if my knowledge serves, The fog should weaken and eventually clear entirely. We need only wait. Perhaps somewhere more hospitable?
So I guess my initial assessment was right. After defeating more and more of the enemies in this area, the fog was progressively starting to clear up, and it wasn't just my imagination, I guess. So it's interesting that it did it progressively as you defeated each set of enemies. So, and not just when you defeated all of them. So that's interesting. How did you get here?
I was investigating this fog. I believe you have already discerned that it is magical in nature. I serve Sarenrae, goddess of sunlight. Discovering an evil magic that isolated living creatures from the sun alarmed me in no small way. I was able to locate the place the fog originated from, but was too presumptuous and almost got into the beast's teeth.
Interesting. So he's investigating the fog. I guess there's also the other priest that we encountered, Jod, I believe, who's at the trading post, and I guess he was in a way kind of investigating it too, and he got a call from his own sort of deity that he was investigating all of this as well in some way, and that was important. So this fog has attracted the attention of many a religious worshiper, it seems. Do we need to go ahead and adjust the voice volume in some way? I don't know why it's doing this all of a sudden. I mean, I guess the voice volume is about as high as I can get it with this master volume, so I guess it just depends on the voice of the person that's voice acting, maybe. I don't know. Alright, with those beasts dead, I have other matters to attend to for now. Farewell, Tristan.
Please wait. You saved my life. I have no treasures or relics, but I have knowledge and the divine power of a priest. I wish to aid you in your journeys. Alas, my wounds won't allow me to join you right now. I will travel to the trading post. I hope to be able to repay you for my life once I recover from these wounds.
Okay, so it looks like we have another priest that's going to go ahead and give us some aid once we're able to get back to the trading post. Hopefully he's not going to be as he's not going to be such a downer the way that Harim was. Jod seems more my speed, even though he's, I mean, every character has flaws, but I certainly like when someone isn't a fatalistic fellow about our existence, so especially when they believe in deities, you know, that's kind of the last thing I expect from them, but so it looks like we have some stuff over here to check out. Mainly just things for loot and money, but, you know, every little bit helps.
Let us press on.
And I would presume that if there's something on that side of this walkway, we'd have something on this side, perhaps. Yep. Indeed we do. Indeed we do. Let's do a quick save. I don't know if that's something that we have to lockpick, so... Alright, looks like we got some potions. Yeah, so that was a reasonably high DC there, so you do need some decent modifiers in your party to get the DC 17.
I will guide us.
I think we already explored all over there as much as we can. The water is crystal clear and seems to radiate a gentle, soothing shine. Oh, well, this is nice.
I am yours to command.
I always did what was right. Therefore, I became righteous. Does it mean
Anything is
whatever I do
possible.
now becomes right because I am righteous?
I am liking this. Free healing? I love it. I mean, it makes sense too. This is a temple. And I guess the muddy waters before were like the polar opposite, like corrupted water. But then when you cleared the source of the fog with the creatures and taking care of that, then you're able to go ahead and turn it into positive water. It would be nice if it dealt with things like exhaustion and fatigue, maybe, but you can't win them all. Alright, so now we're done with this area. We did encounter combat, but we were able to go ahead and deal with it. As long as Valerie isn't exhausted, then usually we're able to go ahead and do okay-ish.
Any fun to be had?
Yes, there is. Okay. Don't know if we're ever going to be able to do Stunning Fist or whatever, but certainly something that we could try. I think it's something that you have to do if you're using only unarmed strikes. I don't know if you're able to do it if you have like a monk weapon in hand. Could be wrong. It has it grayed out when you have a melee weapon, so. Alright, so let's go ahead and continue on then. So we're able to go ahead and clear up the Temple of the Elk here, which is an interesting area that like it's attracted the attention of many people, and obviously the Aldoris, that royal, sword lord family and whatnot. I mean, they have an interest in the stolen lands, and they want us to clear it up from the Stag Lord. So there's lots of stuff going on in this area. So that much is clear. I don't know if we need to go all the way back to the trading post to talk about the Temple of the Elk. It might be prudent to just go and take care of Tuskgutter right now, because, like, we're already this far down here. That would be the fastest way. I mean, if we're this far down here, I think it's probably just best that we just go ahead and take care of the Tuskgutter quest now. I don't think that going all the way around is actually going to be faster. At least, I don't think it would be. I think we should just go this way, unless there's something I'm terribly mistaken about.
My strength betrays me.
I don't know why it's saying that we should go all the way around to get to Tuskgutter's lair, but let's go this direction and see where it leads. Okay, now I know why it was saying that going around this way might have been faster. No. I just want to keep on going until I get here. That was a long roundabout trip to get over there. But now we are going to go ahead and rest. I wanted to get as far as I possibly could before resting, so let's manage this. Amiri is easily the best when it comes to nature, I believe. You're not very good at perception. You can help her out with cooking. Then again, let's go ahead and have you there. You're very good at knowledge world, so let's have you do this. You're not very good at perception, so maybe camp camouflage is better. We do have some recipes, so we don't carry around any food with us because they would usually take up space or weight in our inventory. We have, however, found some with loot. I think what it's meant to do is reduce the cooking DC. But if you have enough skill points to put into Knowledge World, then it doesn't become that much of an issue for the DC. So yeah, there are some meals that can give you some special benefits that you can use before difficult fights, and that's one of the main reasons that you would cook something other than a hearty meal. So this will give you bonus to movement. Pancakes would also give you a bonus to movement. 1 temporary hit point per level for a day. Interesting. Would probably want to use that before a boss fight, otherwise I feel like the temporary hit points would just kind of go to waste, but so yeah, you do have the option to go ahead and cook some alternative meals here. The hearty meal, I think, is good enough to just give you a +1 bonus to all your saving throws, and since it's for a 24-hour duration, that's a pretty lengthy duration, so it's going to last you for probably an entire adventuring area, even the plot-relevant ones, so yep, I think we'll just do this.
So why is everyone staring at me like that, huh? Did I forget to wash my face after I ripped out that creep's throat?
So I guess he was getting some funny looks from party members, I guess. I don't know. No one else said anything, so we don't know what they thought of him. We failed at camouflage, but we have 1 guard for watch, so alrighty then. So this is going to be an interesting encounter because, as I mentioned, characters like Amiri and Gregogar, they don't tend to have very good AC. He has a base AC of 16, she has a base AC of 17, right? But, needless to say, that's usually not going to be good enough. Especially when you have creatures attacking with a +11, +12 modifier, which is very common even this early on, so... And I think I forgot, I have a Belt of Giant Strength that I need to go ahead and equip to somebody. But who should it be? Let's see, you have this, which is very good for you. You have this for Dexterity, and that's very good for you. You don't have a belt. You already have a Strength belt. Giving you a Strength belt wouldn't be too bad. Just for allowing her to wear better gear. I mean, that's certainly a consideration for things like magical studded leather or magical chain shirts and things like that. And it would allow her to wear more gear without being encumbered and limiting her things that she can do with encumbrance. Don't know if I want to go with mage armor or leather armor, but might as well just go with leather armor since there's no armor. Well, I guess there's an arcane spell failure chance, so we might not want to do that. Might instead want to give her something like maybe bracers and then cast mage armor on Alyrra instead. Maybe that's the best play here. So we can give her the bracers of armor. And then we can cast a spell like Mage Armor on her. So that way she gets an armor bonus that will last for a long while. Keen Sickle. Oh, what's Keen do again? Oh, it doubles the critical threat range. Okay. Well, it's finesse wielding, but it's not agile, so I think you need either additional feats or something like that, or an agile weapon to be able to use your dexterity for the damage rolls. Yeah, so we need... Well, this would normally be good. It wouldn't help out for the damage rolls. It honestly should say something different to damage when equipped because it's an agile weapon, so... Anything else that we want to... I mean, I guess we just want to go ahead and give the Belt of Giant Strength to him. Might as well. It gives his carry weights quite a big boost. So that's more loot that we can carry around as well by having him take the belt instead of someone else. Rapier, but he's specializing in scimitars now. Did we find any spell scrolls that we want you to learn? I don't know if communal scrolls can allow you to learn a spell. Let's go ahead and... Can we copy this one to spellbook? What spell school is it? Abjuration. Okay, well, I'm going to do a little bit of a test here and see if she can cast Abjuration magic. So, like, is it because it's from an opposition school that she can't prepare it, I guess? I mean, it makes sense if that's the case, but it also kind of sucks as well that we can't use that defensive magic. That's kind of a bummer. I mean, it's transmutation too. Why would Abjuration be an opposition school? I would think that maybe something like... maybe Enchantment... or something else. I don't know. Just not Abjuration, I guess. So... But now we, at the very least, we know. And we can go ahead and use Mage Armor on Alyrra to go ahead and give her an armor bonus. And we definitely need to give you a melee weapon of some kind, so... I guess a masterwork-like crossbow would probably do better than a short bow. And I guess the Keen Sickle +1, probably a good melee option. Ideally, she's not ever going to see melee combat. It's probably a bad thing if she is. And that's a one-handed weapon with a pretty high critical threat range. Too bad that no one in our party can effectively use it, being an exotic weapon. Alright, now we're off. Oh, jeez. What am I doing? Okay, well, I just wasted some time because I forgot that I was in the Tuskgutter area. Okay, well. Don't worry about me. I am just being an idiot. I'm just going to have to grin and bear with the fact that I made a really stupid mistake there, not realizing I was already at the area. So she's probably going to want to go in there using her weapon and all that. We'll get you your melee weapon out as well. And heck, why not you?
What troubles you?
I don't think we're going to be fighting defensively with you anytime soon. You can potentially turn Lindsay into a tank-typed character with a certain kind of build, because she's a halfling, and so they can get certain racial abilities that can help them out with that. But for the most part, you're not going to be able to do a whole lot with that. So, here we are. The monster is here, and now I'll tear him apart. Yes, just watch me. And don't interrupt me, Amiri blurts out, as if anticipating being cut off. I speak on when I speak on. She grunts and her eyebrows narrow. She clears her throat. There's a custom where I am from. A boy kills a monster in front of the elders to prove he's a man. Ha ha ha! That's funny. In our parts, boys must do something rather different to become men. Amiri throws an angry glance at the half-elf, and Octavia falls silent, but her teasing smile remains. We already have the sexual innuendos in full force, ladies and gentlemen. This is just that kind of game. I hope no one's offended by that. That's just the nature of a game like this. It's kind of a more unfiltered fantasy type game. So, and there will probably be more of that in the future, I imagine. The barbarian clears her throat in hesitation. In our tribe, girls don't get no initiation at all. So, I arranged my trial myself. Like in the song about Kagul the orphan. I downed a cave lion in a single combat. Here, see? The scars I got in that battle. And you know what my elders did after I threw the lion's skin at their feet? I'm assuming I'm just going to go with the more interesting choice here, that we figured things out. They invoked some formality and declared your initiation invalid? I wish! They laughed in my face. They said I scratched my belly myself and hired some man to kill the lion for me in trade for... Ugh. Later they agreed to my initiation, of course. They had no choice. But Amiri's voice wavers in anger, and she spits on the ground. Okay. I mean, that's very interesting that her elders would also go the, oh, she must have traded her body, so that way some hired man would go and kill the beast for her. Oh, man, that must have been what she did. Like, is that really where barbarian elders would go first with their mind? Oh, she must have just traded her body. She must have given her body to him so that way he would go ahead and do the task for her so she could make herself look better. Like, they probably don't know Amiri very well if they think that she would end up doing that. Honestly, honestly. They don't have to like her, but they probably should see the fact that she's not going to just sell her body for something like that. So, yeah. And she's very angry about this, thinking about all this. Must you really slay him in single combat? It'll take our whole party to bring this Tuskgutter down. From a distance, Amiri examines Tuskgutter's muscular body and sharp tusks. Bah! You think I can't butcher a pig by myself? Though, if the elders saw the beast was about to kill the boy, they would help him. There is no shame in that. But it doesn't matter. I am just saying. Now, you stand and watch me gutting the beast. Well, Amiri, my friend, I wish you luck and all, but I don't think this is going to go very well for you. I see. Come on, to battle! Gorum, watch me! With a battle cry, the barbarian charges the boar. Yeah, so watch what's about to happen. I'm going to tell you what's about to happen, in fact, as Alyrra has a very low initiative roll. What's going to happen is she's going to get her ass kicked, and she's going to proclaim victory afterwards anyway. That's probably what's going to happen. She's going to act like that she's all that, even if she gets her ass handed to her by Tuskgutter here. I guess we didn't go... she did reasonably well on her nature check, but we don't know much about him. But very strong, and definitely going to hit hard, so we'll see what happens here. We'll have you hold position here and let her do it herself. And I guess if we're going to do it, we might as well do it with power attack. And let's do it with... Well, I don't think that we need cleave, but we'll do it with power attack. So she can definitely hit hard, but she's going to get hit even harder here. As you can see, Tuskgutter doesn't have to roll very high to be able to hit her, so...
I'll survive. I always survive.
So Amiri, needless to say, she was able to get in one hit before going down. So yeah, that's kind of the story here. She's going to go down like a sack of bricks. And now it's time to get in there and help her.
Onwards!
And he does the whole double tap thing. I don't want you to get in there in melee just yet, and neither do you. We want Valerie to be the first to get in there. And then Tuskgutter will hopefully focus his attention on primarily her.
Take that! Serves you right.
So, I understand why you wanted to do what you did, Amiri, but it's not a very wise move. Not a very wise move to do that. Obviously, you'd be breaking the fourth wall to say, oh, you know, you don't want her to get in there because she's going to be very easy to hit, but, yeah. Breathing heavily, Amiri stands over the corpse of the fallen monster. What you say? See me in action? I almost chopped his head off. Amiri, you're playing revisionist history here. You hit him once and then you went down like a sack of potatoes. No offense, but that's basically what happened and what I predicted would probably happen, so. Not you too, Lindsay. Yes, a real epic battle, just like the sagas. I won't even have to embellish it for the book. That's it. Trial done. Now no one dares say Amiri is weak. She grins and thrusts her chest out. You are a valiant warrior. Were there truly fools who doubted your strength? Some did, you know. I spit on them. No one will dare bark at me now. I mean, Amiri, in one-on-one combat, it smacked the shit out of you. Like, I don't know why you're puffing your chest out, because without our help, you wouldn't have won. Alright, you wouldn't have won. You would have lost. In fact, you did lose. You lost very badly. I don't know why you're talking about how you're hot stuff when your friends helped you win. So, yeah. Anyway, the dialogue doesn't really follow along with what actually happened here, but that is what happened, so. Anyway, still, why do you want to kill this monster? You passed this test back when you were with your tribe already, didn't you? Amiri's face reddens. Well, not just pups must pass this test. If a man is newcomer to a tribe, he must bring a monster's hide. Proves he's not weak. Her voice trails off, then falls silent. Interesting. So I guess she considers us sort of a warrior, and maybe she's like joining a new tribe, a new group, I guess. Are you embarrassed? I didn't think you were capable of that. Amiri growls low. Excuse me. Amiri growls low in her throat. I don't get embarrassed. I'm a warrior, she grunts. Ah. Still, I owe you thanks. You have a true chief's heart. You know what? If we meet another monster like this, I'll kill it too. Not for a test, just that nobody would ever dare say Amiri isn't a warrior. Okay, so I guess as part of her other little side quest here, we want to help her kill another mighty monster at some point. And so let's get a little bit of inspired competence going, and then see if we can go ahead and help deal with this, deal with skinning the beast. Never mind, I guess we can't. I thought that since it was a beast that we might be able to go ahead and skin Tuskgutter, but maybe now it'll help us with perception checks. Wanted to find traps. Well, they fell into a trap by finding Tuskgutter and unfortunately met their end, so... Find some honey here, which is nice. It's one of the more expensive food items, I think. Yeah.
Godspeed.
So yeah, it was definitely a good solo effort by Amiri to try and take down Tuskgutter, but the dialogue doesn't really match the story of what's going to happen in the actual combat. If Amiri goes in there by herself, she is going to lose almost every single time, unless she gets like lucky and does a couple of critical hits to deal massive amounts of damage. Chances are she's going to lose, so you are going to have to help her in the fight. And it's unfortunate that the dialogue doesn't match what happens if she gets downed and isn't able to complete the fight. Maybe it's just that way because we have the rise after combat option. Maybe if it's like more permadeath, maybe our dialogue with our party will be different. But let's see if we can find anything else before heading out. Yeah, I guess that might be the only thing that we can really find there is that stuff up there. But that's okay. We came here for Tuskgutter. We were able to defeat Tuskgutter, and all's well that ends well, so. And speaking of which, I think that we're at a point now to where we've played for a little while, and I think that this would be probably a good stopping point, despite some of my, shall we say, mistakes or whatever by traveling on the map here when I didn't need to and doing all of that by accident. We've had a pretty good successful session here. I think that we did pretty well for ourselves. We were able to go ahead and deal with the Temple of the Elk, and we also cleared out the Old Oak area. And we took care of Amiri's little side jaunt here to want to go ahead and take care of Tuskgutter and not only avenge the hunter that it had injured, but also go ahead and satisfy her need to feel like she's proven herself to us, I guess, as like her new tribe or group. So we were able to satisfy that. We got an idea of what Regengar can do and what Octavia can do and what they offer to the party, as well as in general kind of knowing what we can do with this kind of party makeup. And it'll certainly be interesting in going forward. I mean, it's kind of bad that the dialogue did not reflect what happened in the fight with Amiri here. I feel like there should have been more options kind of baked in there, because she lost and then she acts like she won afterwards because the party won the fight. So, yep, it is what it is, but honestly, I'm still pretty satisfied with the dialogue in this game for the most part. There were some areas where I felt like they had to add in a bit more. Unfortunately, I don't think that they're going to be able to go back and, you know, replace anything or, you know, tidy it up a little bit and polish, but I still think it's pretty vast what they were able to accomplish with this game, so it's hard to complain. Anyway, I thank you all for watching, and hope that you all enjoyed this episode, and I hope that you go ahead and keep continuing on in the playlist, and catch me next time. And hopefully, sometime later this week, I'll be able to go ahead and get another episode of this. Anyway, I hope that you all have a very wonderful day wherever you are. Join me next time for Pathfinder, Kingmaker, and the journeys of Alyrra Nephidel the Paladin. Have a wonderful day, and as always, take care.